They never told you the truth when you were young. They only taught you how to survive long enough to become useful to someone else. And by the time most people realize it, their backs hurt, their eyes grow tired, and the dreams they once carried like fire in their chest have become nothing more than quiet ghosts sitting in the corners of their lives. I'm 93 years old now, and if there is one thing I've learned after burying friends, watching cities change, losing people I thought I could not live without, and spending 70 years chasing stability, it is this. A salary is often nothing more than a carefully designed bribe. A comfortable payment handed to you little by little, so you slowly forget the life you truly wanted. I know that sentence sounds bitter, maybe even cruel. But sit with me for a moment before you judge it. Because I was once exactly where you are. When I was 21, I wanted to write novels. Not because I cared about fame, but because stories made me feel alive. I still remember sitting near the window of my tiny apartment with a cheap notebook in my hand, while rain touched the glass like fingertips. I used to stay awake until 3 in the morning, imagining the kind of man I wanted to become. I dreamed about traveling, building something meaningful, falling deeply in love, creating work that would outlive me. I was poor, painfully poor, but inside me there was a strange kind of freedom, the kind only young people possess before the world teaches them fear. Then life happened. My father got sick. Bills started piling up. My younger sister needed help paying for school. And suddenly the world stopped asking me what I loved and started asking me what I could earn. So I took a job. Just for a little while, I told myself. That is the lie almost every tired man tells himself before 30. Just for a little while. I still remember my first paycheck. I held it in my hands and felt relief flood my body. For the first time in months, I could breathe without panic. I bought groceries for my mother. I paid part of the rent. I even bought myself a new pair of shoes because mine had holes in them. And you know what frightened me most? Not the work, not the exhaustion, not even the endless repetition. What frightened me most was how quickly comfort silenced the voice of my dreams. That is how it begins. Not with chains, not with violence, but with small comforts. A stable income, a predictable routine, a chair that becomes familiar, a monthly payment that keeps your fear asleep just enough so you stop questioning the cage around you. And slowly, very slowly, you stop becoming who you were meant to be. People think tragedy arrives loudly, but most tragedies arrive quietly. They arrive through postponement. I'll start next year. I'll chase my dream once I save enough. I'll leave this job when things calm down. But things never calm down. Life is a machine that keeps demanding more of your soul if you keep feeding it your silence. Years passed before I noticed what was happening to me. I woke up one morning at 46 years old, stared into the bathroom mirror, and realized I looked like a man who had disappeared while pretending to stay alive. I had money by then, not wealth, but enough. A house, a respectable career, a closet full of ironed shirts. People called me responsible, dependable, successful. But every night I sat alone in the dark, feeling something inside me dying quietly, like an animal trapped under floorboards. Do you know what nobody tells young men and women?
The human spirit can survive hardship better than emptiness. Exhaustion is survivable. Poverty is survivable. But living for decades disconnected from your own soul, that destroys people slowly from the inside out. I saw it everywhere.
Men who once wanted to paint, now spending their lives staring at spreadsheets. Women who dreamed of seeing the world, now trapped inside routines so repetitive they forgot what excitement even felt like. People waking up every Monday with heavy hearts, then numbing themselves every weekend just to survive another week. And society applauds it. They call it maturity. But sometimes what they call maturity is simply surrender. Now listen carefully to me here, because I'm not telling you to become reckless. I'm not telling you to abandon responsibility or throw your life away chasing fantasy. Real life is hard. Food costs money. Families need care. Children need safety. I understand that better than most. But there is a difference between working to support your life and sacrificing your entire existence just to maintain a routine that slowly kills your spirit. That difference matters more than you think. The danger is not work itself. Honest work can give dignity, meaning, pride. The danger is forgetting yourself entirely. The danger is waking up one day unable to remember what once made your eyes shine. I remember an old friend of mine named Daniel. We worked together for almost 20 years. Quiet man, always punctual, always exhausted. One evening after work, we sat outside the office building while the sun disappeared behind the city skyline. He looked at me and said something I have never forgotten. He said, "I spent my whole life trying not to fail. And suddenly I realized I never actually tried to live." A year later, he died from a heart attack, 58 years old. His desk was cleaned out before the week ended. That is another painful truth nobody wants to admit. Most systems do not love you back. You give them your youth, your health, your best energy, and the moment you collapse, life keeps moving as if you were never there. I do not say this to make you cynical. I say it because I wasted too many years believing loyalty alone would save me. It will not. You must save yourself. You must protect the fragile little flame inside you before the world convinces you to trade it away for temporary comfort. Because comfort is dangerous. Comfort can become a beautiful prison. You start accepting things you once swore you would never tolerate. You silence your curiosity, your creativity, your hunger for life. And eventually you become so used to surviving, you forget you were ever meant to truly live. When I was 72, long after retirement, I found an old notebook hidden in a dusty box. It was the same notebook I used as a young man. Inside were story ideas, dreams, places I wanted to visit, thoughts about the kind of father and husband I hoped to become. I sat there for hours reading those pages with tears running down my face. Not because my life had been completely bad. There was love in it. There were beautiful moments. I held my children when they were born. I laughed with friends. I kissed the woman I loved beneath a summer sky. But buried underneath all those memories was another feeling. Grief for the man I never became. And that kind of grief is difficult to describe because nobody sees it. Nobody attends the funeral of your abandoned potential. Nobody mourns the books you never wrote, the songs you never sang, the businesses you never built, the adventures you were too afraid to begin. But deep inside, you mourn them, quietly,
for years. Sometimes at night I wonder who I might have been if fear had not guided so many of my decisions, if survival had not become my religion, if I had trusted myself just a little more. And maybe that is why I'm speaking to you now, because time is merciless. You think you have decades ahead of you, until suddenly your hands look older than you remember. Your parents are gone, your children are grown, your body slows down.
And the life you kept postponing begins slipping out of reach. Young people think old age arrives slowly. It does not. One day you are 25 saying someday, and then you blink, and you are 93, wondering where all the years went. So please, do not misunderstand my words. I am not telling you to hate money. Money matters. Security matters. But if your entire existence revolves around earning enough to tolerate a life you secretly hate, then something precious is being stolen from you. A salary should support your dreams, not replace them. And maybe your dream will not make you rich. Maybe it will never make headlines. Maybe nobody will clap for it. But there is a deep peace that comes from knowing you did not abandon yourself. That matters more than luxury, more than titles, more than applause. In the final years of life, nobody cares how many emails they answered.
Nobody whispers their job title with pride while lying in bed waiting for death. Those things fade quickly. What remains are the unlived parts of yourself. The conversations you avoided, the risks you never took, the people you loved too quietly, the art you buried inside your chest because practicality demanded silence. And I think that is why so many old people stare out windows for long periods of time. They're not just remembering life. They're mourning the pieces of themselves they traded away to survive it. If I could sit across from my younger self one last time, I would place my trembling hand on his shoulder and say this: do not sell your soul for stability alone. Leave room in your life for wonder. Protect your curiosity. Protect your dreams. Even if progress is slow, even if nobody understands you, keep a part of yourself untouched by the machine. Because once that inner fire dies, it is very hard to bring it back. And the cruelest part is, the world will still call you successful while your spirit quietly disappears. So tonight, after this video ends, I want you to sit alone for a few minutes without noise. No phone, no distractions, just silence. And ask yourself one terrifying question. Am I building a life or merely maintaining one? Do not lie to yourself. Your soul already knows the answer. Mine always did. I just ignored it for far too long, until the years became ashes in my hands, and the boy who once dreamed beside the rainy window became an old man whispering warnings into the darkness, hoping someone younger still has enough time left to listen.